please, it's great to see you here today. Please tell the audience who you are, who you work for, and a little bit about what you're going to talk about today.
Yes, hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Dirk. I work for Criteo. I'm the lucky guy within the company that is running most of our emerging markets or our new markets. So I joined the company when it was still a tiny startup. We are listed on NASDAQ now for 2 years. So it has become a big corporation. But I'm the one still running the startup within the company, from our Russian operations through Middle East down to South Africa. The good thing is, today, I don't actually want to talk about Criteo. I don't want to talk about our company, not really much about our products. What I want to do is actually share numbers with you guys, real numbers from our clients in this region, in Kuwait as well, the first numbers that we have. So we run in Middle East and Africa for about 2 years already, with numerous e-commerce clients. So I had my analyst team pull out some numbers, real numbers, recent numbers that I just wanted to share with you guys, compare it a bit, how we see also e-commerce, mobile in e-commerce, evolving, developing also across the world.
Excellent. The stage is yours, and as a data guy, I'm looking forward to the numbers.
All right. Okay, thank you. So, first of all, I was actually pretty, on the one hand, shocked to see that the clicker is not working, but on the other hand, the reason, because there's too many mobile devices in the room. So this, again, shows to me that actually the topic that we have chosen today is absolutely up to date, I would say. Just very briefly, I mean, as Criteo, we are pure performance-oriented. So what we do for our clients is everything around performance marketing, trying to help them to, increase their sales. And mobile, certainly in commerce, has literally disrupted how marketing works as well during the past years. It's a complete new environment for you as marketers, as brands, as companies who are trying to, reach and follow their customers, their audience, their users. You had to adapt, and you still have to adapt. It was like kind of a trend that everyone started talking about already the past years, but it really didn't end up in marketing yet. So we all know, and it was great to see also the gentleman's presentation from Twitter before, the usage of mobile, it's clear, also Kuwait, penetration of mobile phones has massively grown the past years. So we know it's there. We know everyone is using mobile devices. But really, what does it look like in a pure marketing world, in a really conversion-driven marketing world? So as I said earlier, today I want to share a few numbers with you from Kuwait that we have, and also some global numbers that we have shared just recently, a few weeks ago, in a global mobile commerce report. So again, wherever I've spoken the past 12 months, I would say, everyone agreed, yes, mobile is happening, but no one is buying on mobile. Even this year at the Crystal conference in Dubai, beginning of this year, I had people literally saying, no, there's nothing happening, I don't buy through the mobile device, so what are you talking about? However, even since beginning of this year until now, we have seen a tremendous development and change with that for several reasons. So this is the only more general slide, just to make it clear again, right? In the end, every day, every single person on average here also in the room spends at least a third more time with their mobile device than with their own partner. So this shows, not only the time spent with that device, but as I said, as a conclusion and as a result of that, also what is happening when we talk about commerce. So this is a first number. Again, it's from our system, right? So it's from more than 8,000 clients globally, what we have pulled in terms of all the transactions that we see on our clients' shopping sites, how many of those are happening through mobile devices versus desktop devices as well. So globally, it's more than 35% of the conversions, of the purchases, are actually coming through mobile devices already. So 35% of every purchase is coming through a tablet, a mobile phone, etc. So I think this number already shows how significant that part is. It also should show to everyone here in the room how important the marketing part on the mobile device is. Because if you're missing out on that, you're missing out on more than 35% of your potential customers. I mean, it's also interesting to see the difference in between the countries. Clearly, when you look at Japan, I think that was not surprising to me. Generally being above average. Another country that I'm running, Russia, it's below average, but it grew from Q2 to Q3 massively. To be honest, Kuwait number here we are not showing because the overall size is not large enough that we felt it's like a proper significant number to show that is valid. Can we move on? However, this is a pure number from Kuwait, from our e-commerce clients running campaigns in Kuwait. And what does it say? In Q3, actually above the worldwide average of 35, namely 38% of all purchases that are happening are coming through mobile devices. So this, is everything from retail to travel, booking hotels, flights, buying fashion, items, etc. But I think what is even more interesting and amazing is to see also the growth. Could we just go back quickly? From Q2 only to Q3, I mean 32 to 38%, that doesn't look really big, but it's more than 20% growth from one quarter to the other. So for me, one thing is what is happening already today, but the other thing is, by the end of this year, by the end of Q1, and then maybe middle of next year, we see even much higher numbers. So mobile, and this is really the crucial part about everything that is happening on mobile, is growing much faster than anything that we have seen so far. If you look back and remember the transition from offline to online, and I remember that because I was starting my career in television and then moving over to online, that was a very long time that actually also marketing budgets shifted along with the user usage and user time from offline to online. Mobile is going much, much faster here, so that also means everyone needs to adapt much quicker. Next one, so this is a number about Middle East and Africa overall, and there we can see it's actually already beyond 40%. So again, 40% of all the commerce is coming through mobile devices. One trend that we see and that we have also been able to track over the past months is that smartphones are replacing tablets. This is important to understand because in mobile, everything is related to the devices, and also the mobile commerce growth also depends on the devices that we have. Here, the main message is, I mean, look at South Korea. There is almost no tablet existent in the commerce world, right? So it's everything smartphone. So Asia overall, Japan as well is, tablets still ahead, but on a global average, smartphones are already larger than tablets when you look at the commerce. And in all the other countries where you see, it's still even or smaller, again, the big thing is the smartphone part is growing much, much faster than the tablet part. It's actually stagnating. And again, a number we have pulled for Kuwait, specifically from our clients, is that 53% are actually going through the mobile devices in order to buy things and to make purchases versus the tablet. And again, for the whole region, it's even much bigger, and that was, again, I mean, those numbers were fairly new to myself. I don't look at those every day. 76% across the region are already, buying things through their mobile devices. And seriously, myself, as a user, when I look back, a year, 2 years back, still, the mobile phones, the speed of the internet, the connection there, the displays and everything, it's incredible to see how much not only the browsing, and reading things and tweeting things and, reading emails, but literally looking at products and buying them through those small screens. So actually another trend that we see and that we have tracked is certainly applications. I mean, again, applications, everything was, around installs. We saw the past years even, marketing campaigns coming up, how to support, getting your apps installed more often and to get more installs generally. But what is, another thing that we have seen, a lot of people are installing, but actually after, a couple of days, they stop using them. So what we can see right now is that actually applications are taking over as well in terms of usage. And when we look again at commerce, even in terms of conversions and purchases. And what we see here is that for commerce, lifestyle and shopping, in terms of the overall type of applications that you see, the growth in that section has been by far globally, and this is a global average, the largest at all compared to all the other ones. If it's messaging, social applications, social media, music, games, which was certainly one of the very big drivers of applications in the beginning. More than 170% in 2014 in terms of growth when it comes to the lifestyle and shopping applications. So, how does that work? Again, for us, trying to serve the needs of e-commerce companies that are purely, number-driven, that are purely, focusing on their sales, that only, of course, want to do what makes sense. Applications was a completely different new environment. Everything that we have done before on desktop, even in mobile, didn't work in applications, right? You don't have, necessarily the cookie-based targeting options. You don't have the URLs with the browsing and deep linking possibilities in the beginning. So it's a complete new environment. And what it means, however, and what is working already for a while, is literally you go, on one of the, shops within the application, you look at products, you leave that app completely, you go into another one because you want to check in Kuwait, is it raining tomorrow or not? Certainly that's very important here. So you look at the weather app, and actually what you see on the lower end here is a personalized ad. So it's just not a random ad that might show up and pop up within your weather app or whatever else you're looking at. It could be a gaming app, etc. But it's really an ad that is related to the products you have looked at before. And that's happening within the app. And then you can click on it, and actually it's directing you then back to the application that you have been at before, directly to the part where it's about this product and where you can actually buy it. So this is really, really important when we think about commerce, when we think about conversions, about purchases, that you don't disrupt here the life cycle of this user. And the message here is applications, and I've received this question literally just a few weeks ago in Russia, where they said, okay, that's nice, Dirk, it's nice to hear that applications are important, globally they're working, but when do I know, should I invest in an app or not? Should I build it? Should I optimize it? Because this is really something in this region I've seen a lot. So we knew, there's a massive mobile usage, but actually the mobile part of the commerce, if it's no mobile web or if it's applications in particular, were, last year already not that far. I mean, there weren't that many conversions, not that much happening on our client side in this region. The main reason for that is because the user experience wasn't good. Either our clients didn't have a proper app or none at all, or a proper mobile website, or they have built one and they haven't really invested in it, they haven't really optimized it. And here we can see that the share with the retailers versus travel, for instance, is already larger. And what we see on our client side is actually that they are really investing heavily also in this region to get it right. So in the end, most of your clients are already there and they're ready to use your app if the experience is good. And talking also about numbers, again, this is the most important thing for our clients. And again, these are numbers also that we track across all of our clients globally. And what we see here is that in terms of mobile conversions in retail versus travel, comparing the different devices, comparing the mobile browser versus desktop versus the applications, again, we knew already for a while that the mobile browser versus the desktop is still not, converting as good as the desktop. Mainly also because of the device. It was not as good, the whole experience for the user. But what's, interesting to see that actually the application has, twice as high performance in this case than the desktop. So again, you look at the small screen, and it's, performing twice as well than the big screen on the desktop. And, even in travel, it's still, performing 1.6 times as good. So again, another big topic that is also impacting everything around mobile, and that is impacting literally everything around marketing, in commerce in particular, is cross-device. Last year, when we spoke about cross-device, we were talking about the holy grail in marketing. This year, actually, we see, again, this has come true, it's happening, we can track numbers, across the industry, players have developed solutions, and through that, we gain insights overall. Cross-device, I mean, in this case, what does it mean? So far, you would be mainly having control over, your customer journey. Which path do they take from the first step until they actually buy something. With cross-device, it's literally not a linear path, that they look at one product through one device, through one, environment, and then they buy. It means that they, going to be using different devices. It means that they're going to be, having the control over you as well, and you need to follow them, and you need to understand it. Also, it means, having spoken a lot about mobile, about digital, about, even mobile versus desktop, one thing that's also clear, the brick and mortar offline is still also not dead, right? We see, interestingly enough, that, a lot of customers are going into the shops, looking at things, and then using their mobile devices to do more research, and then buy either offline or online. And of course, we are aware that also in this region in particular, going into the malls, going into the shops is even part of, people's daily life. It could be part of, leisure time activity, walking around. And you can see that, with big, brands like Apple, it's more like flagship stores. They want you to come in, to touch and feel. They don't even necessarily want you to buy there, but they want you to connect with their products, with the brand. And then you have to make sure that you catch them and make them buy with you, make them buy on your site, make them buy your products online or through any certain type of devices. And you know what it in the end looks like, and this is really the challenging part. It's exciting, it bears a lot of opportunities, but it's very challenging for a lot of the brands, for a lot of the customers that are literally trying to keep marketing and selling, is the usage of the different devices. And you might know this from your own behavior. Maybe in the morning, you start with your mobile phone, you look at some stuff, during the day, maybe during a break at work, you use your desktop device to look at products even, you want to buy something. And then, in the evening when you're sitting on your couch, you might take out your tablet and use that. Again, it's still you. It's one person during the day, however, using 3, 4 different devices. So the trick is here, and that's all about cross-device, is understanding, who that in the end this is the same user that has used in the morning the smartphone, during the day the desktop, at the end of the day the tablet. And they have given you certain information already throughout the day. So you don't just want to start all over again, showing them an app in the morning when they use the smartphone, showing the same type of ad, during the day on the desktop and in the evening again, because that customer for sure has, made progress during the day. So it would not be relevant for the user by the end of the day, keep showing, static ads and the same. So what you want to do is you want to recognize what actually has the user looked at in the morning, what products has this user looked at then deeply maybe during the day, so that most likely at the end of the day when the user has more time then, and has done some research during the day, you want to show the user the most relevant product, right? But this, again, only you're able to do if you're able to identify the user throughout the different devices. And again, this is you know, a really significant number that, you know, cross-device purchase is already more than 50%. So this means that of all the purchases done, we know, we have seen that those users, you know, half of those users have used several devices before they purchased it through one device. They have used other devices, at least one more, to look at the same products or at similar products, that they have done research before through other devices. So this shows it's happening, and it shows that, you know, the whole you know, ecosystem needs to adapt to it in order, you know, to efficiently market also to those users. So, you know, again, those were, you know, very different topics that we have covered today. Everything, you know, related to mobile commerce, but even there, the environment, as you could see, is highly complex. It's not, you know, easy and normal any longer. It's not one computer maybe, you know, the big thing sitting on your desk. Complex is more or less the new normal. Complex is ruling the whole marketing ecosystem. And it's driven, you know, by, and ruled by those different, you know, things that are happening. You know, the devices, smartphone versus tablet, is definitely having an impact on that. You know, we've covered, you know, applications that are really taking over also the commerce part, and the cross-device as sort of the holy grail that is already happening. So again, you know, having mentioned it's a complex topic, you know, knowing that even, you know, Criteo, even despite the fact we're here for several years in the region, even that is a fairly, you know, performance marketing is a fairly specific topic as well. I didn't want to bore you too much with our products, with solutions, whatever. I really wanted to share with you some first numbers that we have tracked in this region. Feel free, my team is here as well, if you have further questions as well that you want to discuss more in depth, to, you know, literally come up to me as well. Thank you very much. So are we